Thank you very much indeed. Well, welcome to the first ever Blues Open House. The first time this club has ever done anything like it. You're part of 100 loyal Blue Noses here tonight that represent a wide cross-section of the fan base. I'm honoured and privileged to stand here and MC the event. Hopefully we'll all go away excited about the future of our great club. One of the biggest complaints we've had is that the club has never been open and transparent with us. Well, tonight that changes, as you will be given a unique insight into the club's development and plans from the people who are working tirelessly, not only to make them happen, but to finance them as well. Over the next 2 hours, you'll be taken around St Andrews to 6 different locations. At each of those locations, you'll be part of a 15-minute session where you'll hear how dramatically our club has changed in just 4 months and given a sneak preview of the future. By the way, that's more than our previous owners did in over 10 years, by the way. Thought I'd throw that in. We've all seen on social media and elsewhere that this great club is now on the rise. Most of us, we've even said it and posted it, haven't we? But tonight you're going to witness it. Hopefully you'll get to find the right, memorable, informative and exciting news that you've been waiting for. And you'll leave with a lot of optimism. And for the older ones amongst you, there really might be sunshine around the corner. The famous Ken Weldon quote all those years ago that never happened. The club values everyone's opinion, be it positive or negative, and want to hear your thoughts about everything you hear and see tonight. But I must make it clear, and they've asked me to point out, the club will not tolerate any abuse. So please let us show everyone from the club how respectful we Blues fans are. Finally, the club want you to share your experience with other fans. So write about it, talk about it, share it with family and friends, post it on social media, and take as many pictures as you want. But please, no video or recording of any of the presentations you'll hear. The club's media team will be posting content tonight and in the coming days, including a live stream of Gary Cook's opening words and the Q&A, which takes place at the end of the evening. Check out the club's social media channels and the website. So without any delay, let's kick off this evening by reminding ourselves, as if we need reminding, why Blues is such a special club and forever in all our hearts. Enjoy.
In 1875, the Small Heath Alliance was born.
Young men passionate about football coming together to join a team.
And they represented their friends, families, workplaces and local areas.
And did so with pride. Known as the entertainers, people flocked to watch them play.
It was the start of a movement, strengthened with every year that passed.
The Alliance morphed into the club that bears the name of the unique city where they were from.
Birmingham.
The power of the Alliance remained.
The club was and still is the people, and I love them.
It has grown and prospered in lockstep with the city.
Never losing sight of the needs of the neighbourhoods it represents and responsibility to bring joy into people's lives.
Birmingham City's roots, blue thread, run deep in this hard-working multicultural city. It is extraordinary.
It's about families.
The values of the club reflect this.
Proud of our past, excited about the opportunities that lie ahead.
Our resilience has been tested time and again, making us rebellious, adaptable and stronger for the next challenge, and never losing the capacity to dream.
We love to compete and to win, always finding ways to rise to the next level.
And our purpose is to entertain, creating memories and always celebrating success.
To having a positive impact on a young boy or girl's life through a local programme.
Our values are underpinned by humility and a wicked sense of humour.
Synonymous with our hard-working heritage,
Birmingham City's inherent strength is in its ability to adapt.
And it has the tenacity needed to continuously improve.
World class is an aspiration.
It is woven into every aspect of the club through the priorities we set to drive us forward.
For every team to represent the club badge, to be competitive and be driven to bring joy and excitement.
To be recognised for excellence across every area of the club and by the partners that choose to work alongside us.
To be seen in and be part of our local neighbourhood.
Improving lives and creating new opportunities.
And to be a destination of choice for outstanding talent to grow careers.
Birmingham, on the rise again.
Our purpose is to entertain.
The alliance that began in 1875 is strong and the pursuit of greatness burns deep.
Collectively, we're second to none.
While we may lose, we are never beaten.
Our alliance and the future is brighter than ever.
And now, it's our time.
Keep right on.
How good is that? What a fantastic film. There really is no other club like it, is there? No other club like it that grabs you emotionally like Blues does. Well, after a torrid decade, I'm sure you'd agree that the takeover in the summer gave our club the kiss of life it needed and lifted us all. After a few phantom pregnancies, this really is the rebirth of the Blues. You're going to hear about some of the fantastic changes that have taken place in the short time that Knighthead have been in charge. But before that, we have a special guest. I'm going to introduce him now, and I'm delighted that we'll be joined on video link live from New York City by the man who made it all happen. Please give a very special Blue Nose welcome to the Birmingham City owner and chairman, Tom Wagner.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Welcome. I appreciate everyone turning out for this first fan forum of many, and something that we hope to continue doing. Let me begin by saying I apologize for not being there with you in person. Were it not for a prior personal commitment, I would absolutely join you. However, if I have to choose between attending tonight in person or versus video or showing up Saturday in person, I think I'd choose the latter. I know I really don't enjoy anything more than being with our fans, shaking their hands, enjoying a pint with them, hearing about their hopes and dreams for our club. It means a great deal to me. And there's a great deal to be positive about with our club at the moment. On the pitch, the men's first team is streaking with a one in a row, back to their winning ways. Our women's team are on a 5-game unbeaten streak. The men's under 21s and under 18s are second and top in the respective league. And our academy graduates are starting for both women's and men's first teams. Off the pitch, the infrastructure and transformation is well underway, and you'll learn more about that tonight. We've achieved a lot in a short period of time, but we know there's a long way to go. We're trying to catch up on a decade of mismanagement and waste. But I'd like to make a few things clear right at the outset. First, Knighthead is all in, and we're not going anywhere. So any rumors that this is a short-term investment for us are false. We have a 10-year plan for the Blues. Every decision we make undergoes rigorous evaluation. And the Blues is a turnaround, and turnarounds take time. It's what we do. It's our specialty. And we are confident that we can succeed here. We believe strongly in the team of professionals at Birmingham City. We're going to need your help and support as we go through this journey, especially as we pursue some of the infrastructure upgrades that we have planned, a lot of which we can't get into details about tonight, but when we can speak about it openly, we're going to look to bring this group on board and really engage with you to help make those plans happen. We're supremely confident that together we will be successful. We also ask that none of us lose sight of the starting point of this journey. When we assumed responsibility on July 13th, the stadium was in disrepair. The training grounds were not fit for purpose, and annual revenues for the 22-23 season put us 14th, more than 54 million pounds behind the top revenue generating club in the championship. These are symptoms of an organization that was broken and set adrift by the prior owners. That filtered down to the pitch. The men's first team had been treading water in the championship for more than a decade. The women's team had been allowed to slip into the championship, and the boys' academy had lost its Category 1 status. The Professional Game Academy Audit Company stated in its report when it took away our status the following, and I'm going to quote, "Inadequate standards in leadership and management and player care, and additionally, with a significant lack of investment, the facilities and resources do not promote elite provision." That statement could have been aimed at the entire club. However, this did not worry us. Rather, it inspired us to prove how great Birmingham City can be. The entire ownership and club leadership teams love a challenge. We've been studying English football for quite a long time. We did exhaustive research before deciding to become part of the Blues family. And let's be clear on a few things. First, we chose Birmingham. Second, we know you deserve better than what you've endured. And third, we believe in our collective ability to achieve enormous success. There is one reality that we cannot escape. Revenue is the biggest driver of success. When we look at the championship over the last number of years, the 7 or 8 teams in the championship receiving parachute payments generate roughly £70 million a year in revenue, and they have a 1 in 4 chance of getting promoted in any given year. The other 16 teams generate less than a third as much revenue and have a roughly 1 in 16 chance of getting promoted. So the goal for us is to make great progress in improving revenue, and we've done so already. We are making progress in that front. And importantly, doing it without asking our fans to shoulder the burden. We have huge ambitions here, and we're already meeting the goals that we've set out. So I want you to have confidence that while our ambitions are high, we're succeeding in the areas that we know matter the most. Now, let's discuss the one topic that's caused the most stress over our short time as owners, and I want to be very upfront and honest with you. There's been a lot of commentary about our decision to change managers in October. One of the very difficult and unexpected things about being an owner is that you make decisions with a lot of information that is not in the public domain. You can't share that information or you lose the trust of your current and future employees. And you just have to accept the consequences of these decisions without complaint. That means I have to accept the consequences of making the tough decisions without being able to explain the entirety of the rationale. So a number of weeks ago, when it became apparent that we needed to make a change to pursue our ambitions, we didn't dither. We made the change. It was not a hasty decision. And make no mistake, I'm a big supporter of John Eustace. And if he ever asked for my support with a future employment opportunity, I would give it without hesitation. But it was based on our ambitions, not just for this season, but for the future. After a decade in the championship and a finish of no higher than 10th on 2 occasions, it's high time for the Blues to move forward. How do we ensure that the next 10 years look vastly better than the last? We do this by turbocharging our revenue to increase the likelihood of getting promoted, and by changing the way we play, possession-based, front foot, high press, because statistics show that teams that have over 50% possession in a game have the greatest probability of being promoted over time. Wayne and his coaching team espouse and embrace the style of play we aspire to, and they're young and hungry for success. They know what is expected of them. It's going to take time, but we believe in them, and we will provide them everything possible to find that success. We promise we will do all we can in January within the PNS guidelines to strengthen the squad, but the real overhaul will happen in the summer when there'll be increased funds available under PNS rules to invest in the team. We're going to do everything possible to give you what you deserve. In return, I only ask that you play your part. In all my time, this short period of time of being involved with the club, the only time that I've been disappointed with the Blues family was at the Hull City game. You could have heard a pin drop in St. Andrews. Bring the noise. Make St. Andrews a place that our opponents dread to visit. Get behind this team and its manager. With your full unconditional support, they will deliver amazing experiences for all of us. And the good news for Blues is that there's no doubt a sleeping giant has been awoken. The club is now part of who we are, your new ownership group. Believe me, we bleed and cry with the rest of you with every result. We've set very high goals for this club, and we will deliver on that ambition. We're blessed to have Gary Cook leading the charge, and we're already seeing green shoots of success, which Gary and the team are going to share with you this evening. So I want to thank you very deeply for your support. Please enjoy the open house, and remember, the drinks are on Gary tonight. So Gary, over to you.
He does this. He leaves you to try and follow that, but he also changes his script. So I may actually do a little bit of repeating, but bear with me. So thanks, Tom. Most importantly, though, welcome to every one of you. And we mean that, and Tom clearly outlined that. You know, we started on this journey with letters to the fans. And the reason we did that, we didn't hold press conferences, we didn't go down the normal path, is because it's the most important. And I am one. So I kind of know what I want to hear, and I know what we want to do. But before we get started, I wanted to share with you tonight what we should expect from tonight. It's really about you getting a better view of what's going on at this football club. As Tom said, a lot of it's not been said, a lot of it's not been handled over the last few years. But our job as a leadership team in operating on a day-to-day basis is to get you involved more and more. You need to be better informed about what happens here. Everybody works hard. Everybody's committed. Here's my point tonight, because I'm a little upset and disappointed, and I'll tell you why. The media can have a view, and they will. And I'm all right with that. But you know, the more exposure we take on, the more views we'll get. The downside of it is, a lot of those media might not be Blues fans. In fact, a good portion of them won't be. They'll have a view. They'll try to disrupt. So they're not the ones who are going to make the difference here. The ones who are going to make a difference here is you. People who are using social media to influence our Blues fans. It's going to be hard enough without having to deal with those that don't care about your club. They can influence you. We can't allow that. We have to stand together. So the objective tonight is to give you a little bit more of an understanding. And I want to start at where Tom intimated in his point. This was the quote, and I'll read it to you again. Tom mentioned it. The very day we walked through the door, somebody brought this to me, and it sits in my office today, and this is what it said, and I quote, and they were referring to taking Category 1 away from this football club. The Football Audit Group. Inadequate standards in leadership and management and player care, and additionally a significant lack of investment, the facilities and the resources here at Birmingham City do not promote elite provision. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the starting point. That's where we started. So Tom and his team, they made a choice. They made a choice to support this football club through investing. And believe me, this club was on its knees. But we thought we knew what to expect on July the 13th when we walked in. And I can tell you, it was not what we anticipated. A lot of things don't work. If you pull the curtain back too far, you'll see it. The stadium, the infrastructure, training facilities. Somebody's got to pay for the operating losses. Somebody's got to develop the women's team, needs investment. Somebody's got to develop the academy, and much, much more. It requires hundreds of millions of pounds. We are blessed to have Knighthead and Tom Wagner with his ambition and his enthusiasm for making this football club great, but here's what he's going to do. He's going to make this the beacon of the brand Birmingham. Birmingham needs us more than we need Birmingham. Think about that. A city council, a broader community, it needs us to stand up. So let's get down to the business of what we're going to share. Tom talked a little bit about some of the elements. Our ambition is not to look backward, it is to do what the crest of Birmingham says, and that is to look forward. So let's talk about our ambition. It's very simple. It's a one-pager. Doesn't make it very difficult. At the very heart of it are the fans. But there are only really 4 core components that we focus on every day here. Every day. Football and its development. We're going to compete against the best. As Tom said, it takes a while. But we will compete against the best. We're going to develop players. We're going to include a Category 1 status for our academy, and we're going to develop all of our players, and more will be internationally renowned players. That's the ambition. On the far side, community. This football club will help to define this community for many, many years to come. We face adversity. We face financial challenge as a community. We live in an extremely diverse world. It needs help. This club will help it. It will lead it. It will show the nation what we're going to do in the community. And as we start to look at the infrastructure, Tom has already started to see and talk about it. You'll see that tonight. And I can't wait to get your views and your opinions. But most importantly, commercial partners. We need more, we need them to be big, and we need them to be valuable. But you'll always see that fans are right in the middle. I'm going to share with you a couple of pieces about revenue. Tom touched on it. But let's talk about what is revenue, right? Because I don't want anybody thinking this is an exercise to increase ticket prices. Okay, it's not what it's all about. We got media, we have ticketing, we have retail, we have global partnerships and sponsorships, and we have hospitality. That all makes up the revenue opportunity for us. But our annual revenues last year, our annual revenues left us 14th in the league of revenue chart. But how far behind are we? £57.4 million behind top of the league in revenue. That's a big gap. That's a big gap. In 23-24, we're starting to see some green shoots. So thank you to you for all that you're doing. 18% up in attendance versus last year. 13% up in season ticket sales versus last year. 16% up in corporate hospitality. Sold out in hospitality till January. End of January. Sold out. No seats available. Revenue is growing. We need more. And we have ambitious goals. So here's the correlation that Tom was talking about. This is really one that keeps me awake at night, right? Revenue generated and where you are in the league. No surprise, top of the league last year were number 1 in revenue. We were 17th in the league, but we were 14th in revenue. And the bottom team that got relegated were 24th in revenue. So pretty simple. The bigger the revenue, the more you spend on players, the better you can be. Let's talk about players. It's very clear the spend on players is where you finish in the league. The top of the division last year was second largest investors in players. We were 17th. Lo and behold, we were 17th in the league for our players' salaries and investment in players. And the bottom team that went down, guess what? 24th in investment in players. This is not rocket science. What it is a lot of hard work. So in summary, we can't realise our ambition unless we continue to improve across the mix. But here's the thing I want to refer to. If we fire arrows at ourselves, we're only going to make it harder to bring in commercial partners. We're going to make it harder to hire great people. We're going to make it harder to keep up the enthusiasm and ambition of our owners. We need to come together. We need to stand together as Birmingham City fans and fight our way through the challenges that are ahead. You may have chosen this club as yours, or like me, it was a family decision. And for the rest of our lives, it was a family decision. But I stand here today extremely proud, because I know where we're going. I have every confidence. Done it before, I'll do it again. Knighthead have turned many businesses around. They'll do it again. But we must stand together, because this club is on the rise again. You'll see it tonight. You'll see all of the good news and everything that we started back in April. And as Tom always says, we know how to do this. We got it. We got this. But you must help. Hope, ambition, hard work, commitment and loyalty is what I expect of every single member of this football club that is employed at this football club. There is nowhere to hide anymore. There is nowhere for anybody to stand off and not make a brave decision. We need to be brave. We need to make big decisions. But we will, because we know where we're going. So enjoy this next couple of hours, but do me a favour, one favour. Take a look at it through a different lens. Don't look at it through the lens of 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. Remember, we have an academy, we have a women's team, we have a first team, we have employees, we have fans, we have owners. That's the club. Go look at it tonight. And if you can honestly say, if you were standing here in April and we made these promises to you on all the work that we would have achieved, you may not have believed it. But it doesn't end there. Thank you. Back to Tom Ross. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. How good was that? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Tom and Gary. We're all Blues fans. Exciting, isn't it? After what we've had. Yeah? Excited? Yes. Excellent. So, brilliant stuff from the two guys. Now, this is where you're going to hear from the experts in the field, those responsible as the management team. When you arrived, you were allocated a group. The group leaders are on your tables. Dale, looking after the Keep Right On group. John's leading the Alliance group. Grant is leading the Trevor Francis group. James takes charge of the Karen Carney group. And Jake Skippers the 1875 group. But last, definitely not least, is Davo, who will lead the Tilton group. So get ready for a 30-minute tour of the ground to see what improvements and changes have already been made. And after the stadium tour is finished, each group will head to their first breakout room, and that is where the open house really begins. You were asked to submit a question when you received your invite. They've been collated and will be answered later this evening. However, if over the course of the evening you think of another question, or one springs to mind, or if you feel the club hasn't answered something, you'll get a second chance to submit a question before the Q&A. We'll see you back here in a couple of hours for that Q&A session with Gary Cook and his leadership team. Enjoy your tour, enjoy what you hear, and keep right on. We'll see you back here in a couple of hours. Thank you. Well done.